Just push this button. There you go. So I call it affectionately Cappuccino with Borino, where we talk about real estate. Please post anything in the comments. I'm here to answer your questions, and I want to show you one big problem you may not even know you're running into. One big issue that you might have, and you don't even know it. So we'll talk about that. We're going to work on the big ass board. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to have a final invitation to our awesome bootcamp that's starting next week. The registration is closing tonight, so if you still want to go, now is the time. GoBorino.com/confidence. Go check it out. You're going to get the core influence, the dialogue cards. You're going to get the core influence book, and I'm going to teach you how to master communication. So go check it out. The registration is closing tonight. Would love to have you in the program. And with that, let's get cranking. How are you guys? Good Friday so far? Everybody good? Ready for the weekend? I read an interesting article today on the Fortune website that said, what we've got is what we've got for now. What we've got is what we've got for now. I no longer hope and pray and wish for any big changes because they're not coming anytime soon. So we just have to make the best of what we have. We gotta make the best with what we have, which is pretty much, we're gonna wear the stupid masks for a little while. I am wearing it, I'm just complaining about it. We're going to limit social interactions that impacts your business dramatically. The unemployment rate is high, that's gonna impact the business. Interest rates are low, that's going to impact the business. All these factors will play a role, but here's what it all means. There's still business out there, there are still opportunities out there, there is still a way to make a lot of money. Don't panic, don't fret. Adapt. But with that, I need to show you something that may be causing a problem you may not even know you have. You ready? Let me show you. This is from a recent FSBO ad on Craigslist. Hello, if you're looking for a house to purchase, this is must see. There are pictures, of course, but we can skip the description. It's kind of whatever. But here's where it gets interesting. Buyers, we will not cooperate with another agent. Agents, please do not contact as an agent is not needed. Let me zoom in and underline this. Agents, please do not contact as agent is not needed. Please don't try. Save your script for a different client. Save your script for a different client. See that? You guys see that? There is the problem. Too many agents sound the same, say the same things, repeat the same things, and it pushes the business away. And it's ruining it for everybody, including you. That is the problem. The public, your consumers, your clients, your prospects, your sellers, your buyers have wised up. They realize it's nothing but empty, hollow words you memorized in some stupid seminar that you're just repeating. There's no heart in it, there's no passion, there's no confidence, there's no competence. There's no high status agent, it's just blah, 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 blah. Sellers are wising up. The public opinion is changing. The public perception is changing. Their expectations are changing of you. You've got to do better. You've got to do better. That's why I'm teaching the class starting next week. We're starting on Wednesday. We're going to reshuffle the way you look at communication, the way your clients perceive you, the level of confidence you deliver, authority you deliver, control, but without manipulation. Sellers are actually putting it in an ad. They know it's a script, and they're telling you, go away. Nobody wants that. Now, the second problem with scripts is you don't feel comfortable doing it. Do you really feel comfortable reciting some of those lines I see, and I'm thinking, seriously? I mean, I said a lot of stupid stuff, and I went through a lot of stupid training. But it's time to change. Here is the rule. Write this down. Please write this down and post it somewhere as a reminder. Please do that. If you don't want to be treated as every other agent, you cannot sound like every other agent. Let me repeat that. If you don't want to be treated like everybody else, you cannot sound like everybody else. Have you ever prospected, called a FSBO, expired listing? I mean, right now, phone is just one of the few means you can reach people, so better master it. But have you ever called somebody and they literally told you, you know, you're the third person today who said the same thing, you sound the same? It happened to me before I figured out, shit, I better change. That's the problem. So what is the solution? Clearly, better scripts? No. I'll give you a solution. Confident communication is based on three pillars. Three pillars. Let's write these down on a big ass board. This is the learning part. You ready? You ready? Here we are, this camera. Okay. So, you start with the right intention. 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 The right intention. What is your intention? What do you really want? So many agents pick up the phone thinking, well, I want that listing. I want to get paid. Back off. That's going to come later. What is the first thing that you need or want? Where do you start? You need to find out three things. Where are my beautiful pens? You guys saw them? Oh. They're right in front of me. Excellent. So much for authority, credibility, expertise. All right, you need to find out three things. And you need to find out very quickly. Is your prospect that you're interacting with, let's say you open it with a text or an email and you escalate. You always want to escalate to a conversation. That's the easiest way to establish rapport, build trust, determine who these people are and can you help them. But here is the rule. Set the intention. Are they war prospect? Are you dealing with a war prospect? Because here's rule number one. Rule number two, rule number one was, remember, if you want to be treated like everybody else, you cannot sound like everybody else. If you don't want to be treated like all the other agents, you must sound different. Set a different intention. So what's the intention? Am I dealing with a war prospect? Is this a war prospect? So war, what does it mean? War. W stands for willing. Are they willing? Like clearly from that ad you just saw, they're not willing. And yes, with some good, confident, advanced communication, I would probably win them over sooner or later, because if you remember our last session, statistically, most for sale by owners, 70%, list with an agent. But they must be willing. They must have the will to work with you, to connect with you, to get help, to move. Are they willing? Number two, A stands for are they able? Are they able? They might be willing, but if they want to buy a $2 million home on the lakefront, Hill Lake Barcroft, and all they have is $20,000 in savings, and for a living they do crochet baskets, chances are they're not able. If it's a seller, are they able to sell? Are they in a position to sell? And number three, are they ready? What is their timeline? So your job is to set the intention. I need to figure out, are these people willing, able, and ready? And here's the second part to it. Am I willing to work with these people? You ever been desperate for a client? Jesus Christ. I had clients that, you know how you go in to the meeting. Did we get interrupted? Did we lose the stream? Hold on a second, let me make sure you hear me. All right, looks like we're good, right? All right. You're going in knowing this is going to be trouble. Seller may not be super motivated, it might be difficult, just sometimes it's a personality. But you're going in thinking, this is not going to be an easy one. And yet, why do we still do that? Why do we still go in? Desperation. So, set the intention. Are my prospects willing? Are they willing? Am I getting somewhere through the communication, through the follow-up? Number two, are they able? Can we make this happen? Are they realistic? Do they have enough equity? Can they buy another property? Can I make the move? And are they ready? Are you willing? Don't compromise. If you have what I recommend to my students is put together a list of qualities or things you want in your ideal client. Make a list, 5, 6, 7 things that really matter to you. One of them is, they're nice to me. They're good people. They're not arrogant. They're not penny pinchers, difficult to work with. We all had clients like that. I mean, remember what I told you. Every time I went into a meeting or an appointment, and you get that feeling. Sometimes it's just a sensation, right? Sometimes it's just a little alarm going off in you saying, don't do this. This is not your ideal client. This is not someone you want to work with. And because in spite of the better judgment, you go for it because you're desperate, you want to get paid, you need to feed your family, and then it backfires. Because by the time you're babysitting that one deal and one seller and one listing, and you hold it together with glue, duct tape, and hammers and nails, you could have had 3, 4 good deals, easy sellers. So don't violate that. Stick with your gun. Stick to your standards. Having integrity, having these standards is very attractive. And it pays well. So make a list. What do you want? They need to be nice, they need to be motivated, they need to follow my advice, they need to be honest. I don't want somebody pretending and lying. I had sellers like that. I had a seller who didn't disclose there was a major problem with the foundation because it was covered with carpeting. We didn't know until the property sold and closed. And when the buyer tried to redo it, suddenly they discovered there was a major crack in the foundation. The house shifted. Big lawsuit. Big problem. So I want somebody who's honest. I mean, every problem, almost every problem can be fixed, but we need to know. So make a list, don't violate it. Work with people who are willing, able, and ready. On the other hand, you must be willing. Are you able to help them? You ever notice sometimes these posts, I kind of find them amusing. Occasionally people post, you know, I have this shopping center that a client wants to sell. I've never done commercial real estate, but how do I go about it? What are you doing? You can't serve that client well. That'd be like my dentist trying to perform a heart surgery. Don't do that. Stick to what you're good at. You must be able to help them. Can you help them? And in part 3, are you ready to help them? Are you in a position to help them? Are you, and this is an important one, are you ready because are you prepared to help them? That means you know the market, you know the marketing, you know the communication, and you position yourself as authority. Is this helpful, guys? Look for these people. Look for people who are willing, able, and ready. Now, if I set the intention, these are the people I want to meet, now I can set criteria. Where do I meet them? How do I find them? What systems do I need to have in place that will help me acquire willing, able, and ready clients? And this is where the Facebook part comes in. Yes, you can run fancy ads on Facebook. Nothing wrong with that. But be ready for a couple of things. You need to still learn a skill. Either you're going to pay somebody a couple $1,000s a month to run these campaigns for you. That's what an average, a good professional firm costs. That's what we pay. Or you're going to learn it as a brand new skill. But this is not something you can do in one afternoon. We'll say, okay, here's a pretty picture. I'm going to post some text and a link to my phenomenal listing and leads come to me. It doesn't work that way. You need to learn that. And then be ready. You need to continue investing and tweaking and working on it. This is not an autopilot. So my suggestion would be do that once you have the core lead generation systems in place. Once you have 4 funnels in place that are generating you a steady stream of leads, especially in these crazy times, in these difficult times, you have to be very deliberate where your business is coming from. So if I want somebody who's willing, able, and ready, why not hop on Craigslist? Why not hop on Zillow? Why not subscribe to something like Espresso Agent and get a list of for sale by owners? Yesterday I showed you I could pull right now approximately 45 pretty good leads that I can work with who will be listing down the road. That should be your bucket. Feed that bucket. Those are people who are willing, able, ready. Expired listings. I can go back 6 months. I can go back 3 months. I can go back 2 days. I can do expireds today. I can go back 2 years. Because one of the worst things that can hamper your business more than anything is assumptions. You assume, well, they tried to sell a year ago. I don't think they're going to sell again. You assume that they didn't sell a year ago. They're going to be just as unrealistic about the price. You assume that because they tried to sell 6 months ago, all the agents contacted them, they don't want to sell. Bad assumptions. We had a guy in the military named Sergeant Petrov. And I didn't really like military. I mean, you had to go, you know, in Czechoslovakia was a communist country. Conscription, you hit 18 years unless you're in a college, you go serve the motherland. And we spent 30 days in a training camp. And one of the things I learned, one of the few things I learned, other than how you distill alcohol from some cleaning products, I'm not going to share the recipes, but what I learned from good old Sergeant, was that assumption is the mother of all fuck-ups. Every time you assume without knowing, every time you make a decision without knowing, without being certain, you're asking for trouble. So don't assume. Is it possible some of the expireds will not be motivated, don't want to sell, already have an agent, all that? It's possible. But just statistically, I know, and again, your area is different, but in my area, half of the expireds that expire, even in a hot market, property expire, half of them will go back on the market sooner or later. So why not work them? That should be your next bucket. Next bucket should be your sphere. That's a no-brainer. That's like, duh, of course. Every person you know is either a potential client or knows somebody. Why? Because again, remember, I like statistics. Statistics help me determine where the business is. So one thing I know is, according to the US Census Bureau, 12% of Americans will move in a 12-month period. 12%. So if I have 1,000 people in my sphere, that includes everybody I know, friends, family, everybody, past clients, everybody. Even that barista that serves you Starbucks coffee in the morning can be a potential client, or they know somebody. 12%. You're sitting on a lot of business. Are you working it? Are you looking for willing, able, and ready people? And the next, your neighbors. Your neighborhood. You should own your neighborhood. You should own your neighborhood. There's absolutely no excuse for you not to list homes in the area where you live. That's like one of the easiest things, because you're not just a desperate agent, you're a neighbor helping a neighbor. Easy way to make a living. Easy way to get tons of good listings. You should own your neighborhood. There's absolutely no excuse for you. If another agent takes a listing in your neighborhood, that's because you're sloppy, you're lazy, or you don't have a system to work it. And you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Now, I know I'm kind of blunt, but that's the reality. You should own your neighborhood. There is no other agent has the right to take listings in your neighborhood but you. Michael is right. Michael makes a good comment. Let me show you. Let me just zoom it in a little. Here we go. There it is. Mike says social media, mailers, phone calls, and creative marketing is critical in this COVID BS. Staying motivated is critical. Michael, absolutely agree 100%. And you know what? It is the last part, Mike. That's the toughest one, isn't it? For you to keep doing something without having 100% certain that it's going to pay you back is the toughest part. For you to believe that you are in the right business at the right time, in the right place, keeping positive, upbeat, optimistic outlook on your business, on your life, can be challenging. And I tell you why. I want to share with you something that I have not shared before. Is this helpful so far? This is your bread and butter. And Mike is right. Some of it will be done through social media, some of it through phone calls, through videos, through emails, through direct mail. It's a combination, all channel marketing. So I set up the intention. I look for these people. Through good communication, I connect with them. I start establishing my positioning, plus relationship, plus qualifying. Then I can decide, yes, these people are ready to sell now. These people are ready to sell in 6 months. These people will never sell. Then I can move, who do I want as a listing? You don't start with it. It's the third step. So now, and I will teach you. A lot of these things I can teach you. Go to this URL, goborino.com/confidence. Go check out that little video when we finish. Go take a look at it, because I can help you with a lot of this. From positioning to overcoming. Like one of the things I had a phone phobia. I was really nervous and scared and uncomfortable talking to strangers on the phone. Stranger danger, you know, the whole thing. So I'll show you some practical, simple strategies you deploy. Some of them are mental, some of them are physical. You combine these through visualization, through other exercises, you're gonna be good. But another reason is, it's kind of cute. People sometimes tell me, Borino, I hate phone prospecting. I hate calling people on the phone because I don't like strangers calling me on the phone. And I said, you don't hate phone prospecting. You don't hate the phone. You hate being bad at it. You hate sucking at it. You hate doing it and not getting results. That's what you hate. You don't hate the phone. You don't hate calling. Just like Mike said, right now, phone is one of your best friends. It's one of the most impactful tools you have, because you can very quickly, for free, well, not quite, you pay your monthly bill, but it doesn't cost anything to reach a whole bunch of people very quickly, have pleasant conversations, determine, are they willing, able, ready, can I help them now, these people later, these people never. So what you hate is not the phone. What you hate is not the process. What you hate is the fact that you don't know how to do it, you're not getting results, you get bad response from people, bad reaction because you screw it up, you sound like everybody else. You saw that ad, right? You saw this. That's the problem. So you don't hate the phone, you hate sucking it on the phone. You hate sucking at not being able to have a connected, confident communication with somebody, ask the right questions, and get an appointment. Because if you knew how to do that, why would you hate it? That's money. So I can teach you how to do that. But here's what I wanted to share with you. Does this look familiar to you? So here is Monday. Can you guys see it? Let me switch cameras. Okay, so here we are on Monday. And you start a day and you climb your day up, everything is going well, yeah? But then that listing you were supposed to get, they were ready to sign, boom, they say, no, we're not gonna do it. And like, oh, it's shit, and you come down. So you feel really happy here, and you're really bummed here, and you go down, right? And then you go up, and then you go down. And then you go up, and then you go down. Then you hear some good news because your cousin wants to buy a property, excellent, but they don't qualify, you get all depressed. Then you read the news and the economy is taking up, and then you hear there are more COVID cases and you go down. This is the daily reality that everybody deals with. Not just you, not just I, everybody, including your clients, including your prospects. They all deal with this stuff. On one hand, they want to move, they see the opportunity, interest rates are low, there's this beautiful house they want to have on a golf course, they're excited about the possibilities, and then they're freaking out. How are the strangers going to walk through their house? Their grandma that lives with them can catch this thing, it can kill her, it literally can kill somebody. Then how do they go about finding an agent? They have all these 1,000 questions and a noise in their head, so when the agent comes in and calls with some stupid script they heard 100 times, of course they're going to be pissed off, of course they're going to react. We all have these roller coasters in business, in life. Where you want to bring it is here. And this is the challenge. There'll be up and downs, but you want to bring it to this. So the lows are not as exhausting, and the crash from the high is not as deep. One of the best ways to do that, at least in business, you do your work. You do your work, and you keep doing your work. You're not attached, well, shit, I didn't get an appointment today, I'm doing it wrong. You ask yourself, am I doing my best right now? What can I do better? How can I improve this? How can I get better on the phone? How can I get better in communication? How can I get better at lead generation? How can I get better in reaching my neighbors and letting them know that I am here to help and serve and provide answers and information? How can I get better at this? And how can I stay on track? Keep doing your work. Keep doing your work. Because something interesting to consider. And I'm not trying to do like Pollyanna, happy talk, blow smoke up your ass, make you feel better. But think about this. There are right now, 20-some million Americans unemployed. One of the highest unemployment rates in the history. This is like, makes the 1930s depression seem like a vacation. Huge number of people unemployed. Those were the same people who believed having that cushy 9-to-5 job in the cubicle was the solution to their future, to their security, to their family. They're sadly mistaken. You know why? Because they put their financial, personal, and family life in hands of somebody else. They depended on somebody else, on a boss, on a company, on leadership, on a CEO, whether it was 5 employees, 5,000, 500,000, they trusted and depended on somebody else, and they said, I want you to decide for me what I'm going to do Monday through Friday, how much I'm going to make, and what my future is going to be like. And now they're fucked. And you know why you are much better off? Because you don't have some boss or a CEO who one day can walk in and says, you know what, this COVID, unfortunately, we're going to have to let you go. You know what? Unfortunately, because of COVID, when you cut back your hours, that means you're going to make a lot less money. Nobody has that control but you. That's the blessing of this business. Now, by no means I'm pretending this is an easy business. It is not. By no means am I blowing smoke up your ass pretending that this is walk in a park where everybody will get rich. No, most people won't. But you can. And nobody can fire you. Yes, you can lose a deal. Yes, you can lose a listing. And yes, it's hard. But you know what's a lot harder? Being broke. Being unemployed, hoping, praying. I had a conversation this morning with a close friend who looks like his company is going to fold. It's a pretty big company. It looks like they're going to go out of business. He is freaking out because to get the similar position he has, nice management position with nice cushy perks, right now, impossible. And yes, the unemployment will carry him over for a little while. But there's no future in it. you are lucky, you are blessed, because you can work on your skills, which is what it takes. You can work on your systems, build your systems, which is what it takes. You can learn to get better all this stuff, which is what is my job. And together we can make this happen. But you are in control, you are behind the wheel. There's nobody else driving that sucker but you, and that's the blessing. Now with that comes also responsibility. Does that make sense? So if you want my help, go to goborino.com/confidence, sign up for the bootcamp. Today's the last day. We're closing registration tonight. We're shipping you the package. You're going to get this from us in the mail, Core Influence book, where I'll teach you all the secrets, all kinds of cool stuff and strategies, how to influence people, how to make friends with strangers, what to say, how to say it. Big chunk of your communication. It's not just the words, but how you say those words. And sometimes just how you listen and pay attention. All of that will be part of it. In 30 days, you will be a communication rock star or all your money back. Guaranteed. Go there. Okay, now let's take some questions. Here you go. Let me just move it into the... Oh, this is a very important comment that you guys must see. Here you go. Let me just move it here. Love you, Borino. Looks like you lost some weight. Way to go, champ. Thank you for all you do. You're a student of Las Vegas. Nick, nice to have you. And thanks for the lovely comments. I have some people thinking of moving, but their family is telling them to wait until after the election for some reason. How would you handle it? Jason Fazio, good to see you, my friend. How do you handle when the family is giving them advice? Jason, very good question. I would include the family in the conversation and say, what do you guys want to do? You can move now or you can move later, because here is what I know, and you know that as well, Jason. You're a rock star. You've been at this for a long time. We've known each other, what, 4 or 5 years now, right? Here's what I know. It's never easy. It's never simple. It's never black and white. There's always a trade-off. So let's talk about price. Okay, and they say, well, wait until the elections are over. It might be a better time to sell. You may get more money. Hypothetical scenario, right? Yes, they may get more money for their home, but there's a good chance they're going to pay more. And what about the interest rates? There's always a trade-off. There is never a perfect time. We sold properties when I started in real estate in 1765. We had 14-15% interest rates. It was a tough market. A lot of foreclosures. Market was packed with listings. Listing was easy. Getting them sold was the hard part. We still sold them. There were still people moving. So there's always a good time. There's always a bad time. What it comes down to is not what is it that they want to do, but why. Why does it really matter to them? And what you can do, Jason, as a master communicator, is bring clarity to them. Bring that clarity to, this is why it matters to us. And the question is really, why does it matter and how much? So what I would do is grab a cup of coffee and have a little heart-to-heart saying, I'm not here to pressure you. You can wait until the elections are over. But frankly, nobody really knows. You remember, guys, when this COVID first hit big time? There were all these really smart analysts and pundits and economists and experts. They had all kinds of wild projections. One of them was the market will crash and burn. You watch, this is going to be a disastrous summer. You remember that there were a lot of headlines and a lot of information. Didn't happen. They were wrong. They were wrong. Nobody really knows. Is it possible the market will turn? Sure, it's possible. Is it possible the interest rates will go up? Nobody really knows where the election is going to go, how it's going to impact the market. We can speculate. But what it really is going to come down to is, how will their life change? What is the problem that they're trying to solve? One of the key elements of the core influence I'm going to teach you is to really figure out what is it really that drives someone to move. Because it's way more and deeper than just a bigger house, smaller house, different neighborhood and all. Those are surface reasons. There's something brewing underneath. And your job and their job with your assistants is to get clarity what it is and how intense it is. Motivation determines how bad they want it, but it is not it. There is something that makes them say, I want to live there. I want to sell this and move over there. So help them get clarity. Now, is it possible they're better off waiting? Sure, sometimes it's possible. Is it possible they may regret it later? That's possible as well. Here is what I can tell you guys. You don't make decisions for them. You don't take the burden of making decisions for them. You cannot make somebody do anything anyway. You cannot motivate people. Trust me, I tried. It doesn't work. I can't motivate you to make $500,000. I have the tools, the information, the resources, the experience to help you to at least $500,000. And I can't still motivate you. I show you this URL and I say sign up for it. It's one of the best things you can learn. It's a skill that will pay you millions of dollars over a period of time you being in real estate, I still can motivate most of you to go. So you thinking I can motivate or decide for them or guide them, you can't. Here's what you can do. Two things. Provide good information. This is what I know where we are now. Whatever speculation we can talk about where we're going to be in November, December, January, is nothing more a speculation. And most of the predictions that I've seen from experts were wrong. So your job is to, one, provide this information, and two, and this is the most important one because it's a foundation, is you build so much trust that you can have these honest, open conversations with them so they can get clear. Because it sounds like they're scared and confused, and there is something that's holding them back. There's some fear. There's something that they're worried about. So help them get clarity. And be okay with whatever they decide. That is the most powerful position to be in, where you're not attached to whatever decision they make, whether they go now, go later, or ever. Is that helpful, Jason? So that's what I would do. Meanwhile, get more. All right. Michael says, I appreciate you, Borino, taking the time to share your insights and recommendations. Thanks for sharing it all. My pleasure, Mike. I love teaching you this. And please don't misunderstand. Yes, I would like you to sign up for the bootcamp. That's why I mention it, because the registration is closing. But I do these sessions to inspire you and to teach you. That's my mission. Whether you become a client or not, I love you guys. I'm here to share what I know. I don't hold back. It's not like I have this super secret stuff that is stashed away here in the drawer that nobody gets to. No, I share. I'll give it to you, because I know it will help. And in the long run, some of you will come and say, teach me. Here's my money. Sign me up, which is fantastic. So I appreciate the kind words, Mike. Daraj has a good question. What is the way to do marketing in our neighborhood? Daraj, very good question. Start with the simple stuff. Yes, you can blanket the neighborhood with mailers and stuff. I mean, there was campaigns I used to run. We used to send 10, 12,000 letters a month. So you can do that. The problem with that is logistics plus money. So I would start simple. The best, easiest, and many, many times most effective way to do that is start to get to know your neighbors. I know it's kind of old-fashioned and kind of... You were expecting something really sexy and fancy, like become a digital mayor of your neighborhood because you want to create this digital group on Facebook that all your neighbors will flock to. Maybe. And I'm not against it, but I'm saying start with the basic, most effective way, with the least expensive too. Introduce yourself to all your neighbors, and please don't do it with a, here's my business card, I'm in real estate. Don't do that. Say hello. Keep social distancing, of course. But get to know them. Their names, their pets, their children, their occupation. Get to know them as human beings. Because one of the questions you're going to have is, what do you do for a living? What do you think they're going to ask you back? What about you? Right? And now you can say, I'm a real estate expert. I help homeowners here in Lake Barcroft sell for the most money possible. How many kids do you have? See, I don't dwell on it, and I don't go straight for, hey, have you thinking about selling? Because that's where they're going to brace this. Oh, salesman, oh, duck, hide. So you don't do that. You put it out there, because if they do need a question answered, or they do or are thinking about selling, or they know somebody, trust me, they will know. Now we have an ally and a resource next door. So you start building this database. Everything goes into one database, one system, one contact management system, all of these. The funnels I showed you here earlier, all of that goes into a database. So you can start communication with them. So first, you get to know all your neighbors. That's the easiest, fastest way to do that. Second thing you can do is start letting people know you're doing business in that neighborhood. That's why I always recommend when you get one listing, everybody should know not only there's a listing for sale, but you are the agent. If you sold a house in the neighborhood, same thing. So the second step after you get to know all the neighbors is start doing direct mail, especially now, like Mike mentioned earlier, which is a great idea, is start sending these mailers on a regular basis. There's an agent here in my area, a good friend of mine, Lisa, great agent, sells a lot of homes in the neighborhood. She sends these updates. Some of those sales are hers, some are other agents, and she discloses it. She's very transparent about it. And she lets people know this is what's going on in the neighborhood. So you can do that. There are other clever, creative ways you can use direct mail. Next, part 3, and again, right now it's on a limited basis, but it's still out there, is where do your neighbors congregate? Like in my area, every Sunday, all the pet owners get together. We have a lake here, and there are several small beaches around the lake. There's one beach called the Doggy Beach, where people bring their pets. Good way to meet people. And there's one more part that's important is now we have something in common. You guys know we just got a puppy, right? 2 months ago. She's super quick and super sweet. A lot of work too, shit. But now I can bring the puppy there. I can hang out with other people because, and this is key here, real estate is a people business. People will do business with you because they like you. People do business with you because they trust that you are an expert who can help them. It's a people business. The best way to establish that connection is communications, conversations. So you build the database. Then you ask for contact information. You give your contact information. Hey, here's my phone number, just in case. You never know. Maybe you need something. Here's my number. What's yours? You start building it. You with me? So congregate where people congregate, whether it's religious organizations, social, kids, little league, whatever you can do under the current conditions and circumstances. Do that. Own your neighborhood. And you can. It shouldn't take more than 5-6 months to completely dominate your neighborhood. There should not be anybody else taking listings in your neighborhood. Now, the next thing you can do is things like all the for sale by owners. They should know this is who I am and here's how I can help you. Expired listings, no brainer. You should go if they're in your neighborhood. They should never, if they ever consider going back on the market, there should never be option B. It should be you. Control and dominate your neighborhood. Do open houses in your neighborhood. Do business in your neighborhood. Focus on your neighborhood. Yeah? Good way to do that. So I hope, Josh, that was helpful. Okay. Jason, I hope that answer helped you as well. You know what to do, my man. Love you, Borino. Looks like you lost some weight. Yes, let's repeat that. Aaron says, glad I'm here. How long will this be on? Aaron, we do these sessions, we do at least once a week. I do it on Tuesdays, as you know, and occasionally I jump in on Thursdays and Fridays. Sometimes I bring guests. So we do them very often. Normally I post an invitation. We didn't do it today because, as you see, we still have this fancy studio, right? Here's the next camera. And we're still working out some kinks. We're still setting up the gear. We're still. Do you guys like it? Is this better than the whiteboard I had behind me? I think this is pretty cool, right? I have to stop wearing black because I kind of blend into that board. But is the board easy to read? Can you guys see? I think it's pretty good, right? What's your feedback? You like it? All right. Aaron says, I've been working as an ISA, in-house sales agent, for a broker calling 500 plus expireds and FISBOs for the last 2 months and got 3 listings so far. In luxury Westlake Village, Santa Barbara. Good job, Aaron. Now here's my question. Why are you working as ISA and why not get your own license, make your own money? You got the skill after calling 500 expireds. I bet you your communication is pretty damn good. Don't pay somebody else. Don't let somebody else take your money and your success. Go for it. I mean, it's a good way to start, but I would move on. Somebody in your office probably hates me right now, but hey, you're here on my call, you're learning. I owe you good advice, and that's a good advice. All right. Heather says, I love you, Borino, love you too. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. All right, what is the way to do marketing? So we talked about it. You can also check out Nextdoor. What to use to generate market updates for a seller neighborhood. There are several services out there you can subscribe to. RPR is one of them, RPR. There is Cloud CMA, there is Your MLS is good enough. You don't need to overthink it. This doesn't need to be the most beautiful piece of marketing. It needs to be informative, it needs to be fun to look at, it needs to be visually engaging. So one thing I would suggest is just get the data, wherever data you're gonna pull from, put it in a spreadsheet, then go on Fiverr, Fiverr.com. Find a graphic artist, a visual artist, somebody who can make it into a nice marketing piece, have them design it for you, then you can send it out. And you can use Every Door Direct, you can get fancy with it, don't overthink it, just do it. Even if it means on Saturday afternoon, you put your dog or your kid in a little wagon and you distribute it by yourself. I've seen agents do that, and it's very effective because it is not that piece of mail as much as it is your connection, your communication. Now again, under the conditions, I know it's not the easiest thing, but you can do it. Yeah, is that helpful? All right. Leonardo says, I've started targeting pre-foreclosure from public notices. What is an effective campaign for this process? Leonardo, the best effective way to do that, and first a disclaimer, everything I teach you is stuff I did as an agent. So the stuff I share with you is directly from my experience. I had never done a high volume of foreclosures and pre-foreclosures. I had some, and I had some short sales, but not a huge volume, nowhere near as much as I do FISBOs, expireds, and all that other stuff. So my experience, first-hand experience, is limited. But the experience I had, plus the stuff I teach you, like the communication, the psychology, is always the same. That doesn't change. It's not based on selling principles, it's based on human principles. So I can give you some points that will apply to that as well. Number one, understand that you're dealing with very high emotions. You're dealing with people who, selling a house in itself is difficult, it's stressful, it's hard. I have yet to meet the seller who says, oh, we loved it, it was awesome. Are you kidding me? Packing the boxes, carrying shit, doing the repairs, inspections and all that. It was so much fun. That never happens. So it's difficult. Now you put the COVID on top of it. Now you put the fact that they're in pre-foreclosure, which of course means they're in some kind of financial trouble. You're dealing with people who very often either have given up, they said, you know what, fuck it, the bank can take it, don't care. Or they're all under a lot of pressure. That could be health, that could be job, that could be marriage, there could be all kinds of stuff going on. So you need to approach the situation even with more empathy, even with more caring, even with more compassion, but also with more authority. Because if you go in, you need to have a very clear plan. Hey, look folks, we don't have a whole lot of time. And the loan is insured, so if the bank takes it back, they're not going to get a bath on it. They're not that interested in solutions. So it's up to you. If you want to fix this, if you would like to get from underneath it, and if you want my help, I can help you. Here's the plan. Here's how we can do it. And here's the benefit. That's the important part. You need to present why they should care and listen to you in the first place. But that goes for all the sellers. That's not just pre-foreclosures. So that's the psychology part. That's the setup part. Now, from a mechanical standpoint, use as many channels of communication as humanly possible. Remember, you are competing on the marketing level with a lot of investors and a lot of speculators, a lot of institutions who make a very good living very often soliciting these kind of sellers, where they offer them, hey, we can close this in 3 days. We'll bring cash, we'll pay you cash, you're out. You're dealing with investors, you're dealing with all kinds, you're even dealing with people who watch those late night infomercials with people in the Hawaiian shirts sitting, sipping Mai Tai, saying, you know, I got rich in real estate with $100. I bought these homes with no money down. Those are the people who go after them. So that's your competition. That's both bad news and good news. The bad news is there's a lot of noise. They get bombarded with a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, a lot of direct mail. You must find a way to stand out. That's number one. And number two, what do you offer? Why should they listen to you and not just sell it to some Joe Blow who's going to show up with a suitcase and says, okay, here's $300,000, go. The house is now mine. You with me? So, get clear. What do you offer? Why should they list with you and go with you rather than just let it go, number one, or sell it to an investor, number two? You must have clear answers. Number two, communicate it on all levels. That means send them a letter, send them a postcard, visit them in person, shoot a video, send them an email if you have it. Whatever channels you have, deploy them. Position yourself as the authority, somebody who knows how to do it, has done it, and there's a clear benefit of working with you. Throughout your marketing, that needs to be a consistent message. Yes? Is that helpful, Leonardo? It's not an easy nut to crack, by the way. That's a very challenging thing to do. Shagari, an expired that wants to co-list with you and another agent. What would you do? Shagari, that's a good question. And the short answer is it depends. I would first try to find out why do they want to co-list? What is the benefit to them? And is it a real benefit or is it some bullshit they were fed by the other agent? That's number one. Number two, would you like to co-list with another agent? Normally I wouldn't, but that's my ego more than anything. I know, hard to believe, right? Such a quiet introvert. I just like to drive the boat. And I don't like when anybody else is trying to grab that steering wheel because that usually causes more problem than it solves. So my recommendation is always, if you can, drive it by yourself. With that said, there may be instances where being a co-listing agent is better than not being involved at all. Maybe it's just the money, and that's fine. You want to get paid, nothing wrong with that. And sometimes half the commission or whatever the arrangement would be is better than no commission. Sometimes $2,000, $3,000 is better than $0. Been there, done that. But sometimes it's better to walk. And it really depends. So I would have a very honest conversation with the seller and say, what are we doing here? Because the issue could be they don't believe you can get it done. You're their best choice. So they need a backup. They don't believe you're the expert. They don't believe you're their best choice. Help them get clarity. And then you decide what is the best for the client. Given their circumstances and the situation, what is best for them. And then do that. But also remember this, and this goes for everybody, you guys. Never, ever get attached to just one. Never get attached to one, whether it's one client, one situation, one listing, one commission. Because you're going to become desperate. You're going to become needy. That attachment is not healthy. Give it your best. Go for it 100%. Be passionate. Really go all out. That's not only desirable, that's necessary. But not with neediness at heart, but with desire and drive to say, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to deliver the best service, the best communication, the best presentation, the best marketing that I can deliver. And if it's good enough, fantastic. Sometimes it will be and sometimes it won't. So you're going to get more. Because if I have one difficult seller who says, well, we want to co-list with Joe over there and we want to do this and we want to do that. If it becomes too difficult, too demanding at the beginning, it's not going to get easier at the end. So I would say, you know what? I wish you best of luck. Thank you for considering me. I really appreciate it, but I am not your agent. Goodbye. And you walk out. And there's a lot of power in it. Not just in your relationship with the seller, but in the way you feel, where you say, I'm in control. I want to run my business on my terms. And I'm also in control of my income because I know through lead generation, through the right systems, right communication, right tools, I can get more. And I can help you because a lot of the business that you're going to generate is now based on communication. Whether it's, let me make clear one thing. The class that you're going to take with me, goborino.com/confidence, the Confident Communication Bootcamp, is not about making you a good telemarketer. It's not about pestering people during dinner time, desperately trying to get a listing or a lead. That's not what we're talking here. What we're talking about is high confident communication. Now, yes, some of it has to be prospecting. Some of it has to be lead generation. But even that can be done in a way that's pleasant for you and the people you talk to. Not everybody will be interested. Not everybody will be motivated. Not everybody wants to talk to you. But you're going to do it in a way that enough people will. And enough people will say, you know what, come on down. We're thinking about selling. We want to pay you for your service. And I'll teach you how to do that because you can architect it. I've done it. Because I can rely just on luck or my beauty or my charm. My business would be in serious trouble. But you can do it without manipulation, you can do it without shenanigans, you can do it without pressure, without closing anybody. You don't need to do any of that. You don't need to be naturally born salesman. I know, shit, I wasn't. Did I ever tell you that I had 3 sales jobs and I failed at every single one of them? I got fired from Radio Shack. That was the first official job I had. I was selling batteries in a mall in Glendale Galleria in Glendale, California. Southern California, suburb of Los Angeles. Big shopping mall. On the second floor was a Radio Shack. And one of the things that Radio Shack required back then was you had a quota how many batteries you needed to sell with each product, including toys and electronics and flashlights and all that stuff. And we were trained using scripts to sell batteries, to push batteries, because it was a high profit item. And I sucked at it because I just felt so uncomfortable shoving shitty batteries, and they were no good. They were the Radio Shack batteries, shitty batteries. Shoving them down people's throats. So I got fired. I lasted, about 4 months. Gone. Second job, I was a telemarketer. I lasted a day and a half. I got fired because I made 0 sales on the phone. Third sales job, real estate, homeless. How is that for a success story? So my point is this. The traditional methods, selling methods, not only don't work anymore, you saw what the seller is posting, keep your scripts. They're uncomfortable. You don't have to do that. I'll teach you a better way. Because even though I failed so miserably at first in real estate, I realized I still want to do it. I still want to help people. I still want to make money. I like the business. I just didn't like the way the business was run by a lot of people. So I'll teach you another way. goborino.com/confidence. Go there. Check it out. All right. Leonardo says, yes, that was very helpful. Thanks for your advice. Nice. Shagari says, thanks, Borino. My pleasure. All right. Looks like I answered all your questions. Yes, I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Cool. All right, you guys. So with that, I have one last question for you. If you don't improve now, if you don't learn the stuff that we're going to work on next week, starting next week, 4 sessions, awesome sessions. Each training session is about 90 minutes where I'll teach you. It's a Zoom call They'll be recorded, you can watch them. We start with psychology, then we're going to talk about icebreakers, how to open conversations with all kinds of prospects, for sale by owners, expired listings, referrals, inbound calls, outbound calls. A lot of it is based on psychology, so the source of the lead is not that important. We're going to talk about follow-up, how to make follow-up conversation interesting so they still keep taking your calls even though you called a few times. You don't have to pester people. And then the final session will be about objections, why handling objections is a dumb, bad idea. Because they're telling somebody, you're stupid, I have a better way, let me manipulate you into my way. So we're not going to do any of that. I will show you a conversation, plus some real-time calls. I will show you actual calls with prospects, how it works in real life and how effective it can be. You can learn all this. This is not based on any special talents or abilities. It's all based on skills, deploying certain strategies that you will learn. Because in addition to the 4 sessions, we're also going to have 3 sessions. Am I right? Yeah. 3 live sessions where we're going to role play together. We're going to actually implement and practice the stuff you're going to learn. Whether you're new in the business and this all freaks you out and you don't know where to start, or you've been at it for a few years, you just need to get better because your competition is getting better, or because the pie is not as big as it used to, which is a sign of the time, I will teach you. So we're going to have 7 total sessions together, all of them recorded. You're going to have access to it. There are special bonuses like the Mind Matrix Plus to help you with your mindset. There's the core influence where we get these dialogue cards. And I have agents who literally keep it by their computer as they're prospecting and lead generating and following up. And whatever conversation they're in, they just pull it and it helps them stay on track. It's not a script, but it's kind of like your guide. Because I don't want you to lose your personality. I don't want you to lose who you are and turn into some kind of a arrogant car salesman persona. Don't need to do that. You can be yourself, just more powerful and better. So I will teach you. Registration closing tonight, it's only $297. That includes all the bonuses. It's 100% money back guarantee. From the time you push the buy button, the clock starts ticking, you have full 30 days. And if for whatever reason you feel like this guy Borino really sold me some snake oil, this is not my thing, or I didn't make it to the classes, didn't get much value out of it, I want my money back, no questions asked. You keep the materials, here's your money, thank you for giving us a try, we're still friends. Okay? So go sign up for it. We'd love to have you. It's going to be great. We're starting Wednesday next week. Be on the live sessions though, if at all possible. I know life happens. Shit sometimes happens. I get it. But if at all possible, be there because we can ask questions. We're going to keep it very interactive. We're going to have a lot of fun together. Master this. Your business depends on it. Your income depends on it. Your family depends on it. You depend on it. You're not doing your best. Don't lie. Don't pretend. You can do better. And if it just means fine-tuning things, because what you're going to notice during the class, we don't need to revamp completely how you communicate. It might be just a little tweak here, a little addition there, changing a few words here or your tonality or your body language. And suddenly the door opens that it felt very shut before, people will respond differently to you. Because friends, COVID or no COVID, election or no election, people are still moving. People still need agents. People still need help, now more than ever. You can be that agent. You can be that resource. But only if you deliver absolutely rock-solid, confident communication, which is, I can teach you. It's a skill. I have 2 good skills. I figured out how to confidently communicate, number 1, and how to teach others how to do the same. I broke it down into simple, digestible pieces that you can follow. Now, I can't promise you it's going to be magically transforming you overnight, but I promise you one thing. This is my promise, and I'm going on record. This is being recorded. If you stay with it, you're going to be better, and you're going to see results very quickly. Tangible, immediate results. Está bien? All right, guys. Oh, Gigi, that's so sweet. I appreciate that. She says, Borino, love your nuggets of knowledge. Thank you so much. My pleasure. I really enjoy sharing this. I really do. Fantastic. All right, guys. Take the class. Go to goborino.com/confidence. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you all on our first bootcamp next Wednesday. Now, mind you, last thing. I get a couple of emails from people saying, well, I can't make this one. When is the next one? There is no next one. I don't have any other confident communication bootcamp on calendar. It requires a lot of preparation on our time, my staff, my team. We need to ship you the packages. It's a lot of logistics on the back end to make this happen. So there's a very good chance. And again, this is not some bullshit scarcity to get you signed up. But there's a good chance I will not teach it again, especially if I get a nice big group, which it looks like it's going to be a fun group. But I limit how many seats we have, so it's still an intimate experience. You still get to ask questions and role play and practice and get better at this. Yeah? So come join us. goborino.com/confidence. I'll see you all in the class on Wednesday. Have a terrific weekend. Go help some people. They need your help. Connect with them. Set the right intention. Find willing, able, and ready prospects, buyers, and sellers out there. And with that, Coach Borino signing off, wishing you all a fantastic weekend. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.